Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike, Ikabugondi yo, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike. Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike. Odogwa nebula buke, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike. Ikabugondi loyi, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike. Endi loyi na chozudo, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu. Manogezugo, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike. Umu Biafra Ghana, Nnamdi Kanu, Ani Nnamdi Kanu, Amadike. Egwu ndị Kalobi, Ikolobia bi n'obodo a, mmadụ anọzi ikpe ya. Egwu ndị Kolobia o, Biafra banani, obele nwa nwonye fali beku, Chukwu zitere anyị ya. zitelie ka ọ bịa tọpụ ụmụ Biafra na-abụ ka ọ tọpụ anyị na-abụ Naijiria. Chukwu zitere anyị ya ma ndị ilova jụziri ajụ mana anyị nwekwa mmeri. Babụlụ obere nwa na 2015 ụbọchị enyanụ anyị wee bebe ife dị n'ime ya. Anyị wee jebe ụlọ ikpe chọbazie ndị mkpọrọ anyị na mkpọrọ, ndị kpọchiri anyị ka anyị na-achọ. Anyị furu ofe ọnụ n'ụwa gị marụ afa na-agbazi ọsọ ọsọ na-achụzi fa mana fa marọ na anyị nwe mmeli n'ife ọbụla anyị tinyere aka n'ụwa na-agala anyị ya ka anyị ji bụrụ ụmụ Chukwu okike abịama. Nnamdi Kanu kedụzi ife mesilu mee odogwu a na-egbula abụga abatago obodobo nwa nwonye afa n'ife agbala nze na akpọ ya onikalata ife mena ya ole n'ụwa ka ibili ị ga-adị ndụ ole n'ụwa fụ Biafra. His Majesty onye olu mmanụ na-ekwu akụọ m ọfọ na nne ị ga-afụ ife ọma ebe isi na anyị ga-enwere onwe anyị wee bulie n'isi ife ọma ga-abụ nke iyi. Ngwanụ kenenu Kanu Nnamdi Kanu Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike Biafra. Nnamdi Kanu Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike agbala nze na-ekwupụlụ iyi. Nnamdi Kanu Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike eze nkọtọ nkonyelu mkpuchi. Nnamdi Kanu Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike kịtịkpa gbala n'ọghọlụ mbuze. Nnamdi Kanu maka Nnamdi Kanu odogwu Ọhamadike ife dị na ihe n'ụwa mụ. Nnamdi Kanu Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike Deputy Director. Nnamdi Kanu Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike uche mọfọ na-ekene mi. Nnamdi Kanu Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike Ọhamadike Biafra. Nnamdi Kanu odogwu Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike. Ụmụ Biafra oge zugo agbala nze nọ n'egwu ọ bụ egwu ikolobịa onye gbaka na ya lụ nke ọ gbara gbanye n'ụwa na nkịtị. Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike Biafra ụkwalụ oge n'ụwa daa ife niile nwere ogie oge zugo na anyị gana Biafra ba na anyị Biafra ba na nsọ Biafra bụ nke anyị anyị Chukwu gwara anyị na mgba aka na-ekwuzi ị na-akpọ m onye Naijiria bụ m onye Naija gwakene m minino of Naijiria mana Biafra bụ obodo m. Ị na-achụzi mmọnwụ nke ndị ọbụzi ndụ. Biafra bụ obodo anyị ebe amụrụ anyị bụ na Biafra ebe anyị ga-anwụ bụ na Biafra. Nwata chọba nke ya ọbụla ajọ nwa nwata chọba nke ya ọbụla ajọ nwa mana mmachọ nke mụ n'elu ụwa nụ onye ọcha mma aba m afa n'elu ụwa. Nne na nna mụrụ m n'ụwa ga-aba m afa afa m bụ onye ka Chukwu. Biafra bụ obodo anyị amarọ m ife bụ Naijiria ikuku ya lisi iguo kedu ife ọ ga-eme n'iku. Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike Biafra ife mela anyị ole n'ụwa ka njikube egwu ọlụ ịlụlụ n'ụwa juru m anya isi kpọta Igbo n'ụlọ juru m anya. Ekene ka njide ole n'ụwa Nnamdi Kanu ekene ka njide ole n'ụwa Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike dike Biafra onye afari wetu ịrapụrụ oche eze nna yi wee were ndụ yi wee tinye ka anyị nwere onwe anyị ife ọma n'ụwa makọ na be yi ife juru anya ọmakọ na be yi abala nso n'ụmụ nọ n'egwu ngwanụ ka ikele n'odogwu Nnamdi Kanu odogwu abụrụ ọka ime mbụ ma ncha Nnamdi Kanu kịtịkpa gbara anyị ọghọlụ mbuze Nnamdi Kanu onye afara ibe kwuo Nnamdi Kanu ike akwụgo n'ilo yi Nnamdi Kanu n'ilo yi na-achọzi pistọl Nnamdi Kanu n'ilo yi na-achọzi dialọg Nnamdi Kanu ọ sị na ọ bụ reconstruction Nnamdi Kanu mana anya da n'ozi oyibo Nnamdi Kanu Biafra bụ obodo anyị o Nnamdi Kanu nkịtị Nnamdi Kanu ọhamadike Biafra ụkwalụ oge n'ụwa daa ife niile nwere oge oge zugo na anyị gana Biafra ụba n'anyị Biafra ụba na nsọ Biafra bụ nke anyị anyị Chukwu gwara anyị na mgba aka na-ekwuzi ị na-akpọ m onye Naijiria bụ m onye Naija gwakene m minino of Nigeria mana Biafra bụ obodo m ị na-achụzi mmọnwụ nke ndị ọbụzi ndụ Biafra bụ obodo anyị ebe amụrụ anyị bụ na Biafra ebe anyị ga-anwụ bụ na Biafra nwata chọba nke ọbụla ajọ nwa nwata chọba nke ọbụla ajọ nwa mana mmejọ nke bụ n'elu ụwa nọ onye ọcha ma aba m afa n'elu ụwa nne na nna mụrụ m n'ụwa ga-aba m afa afa m bụ onye ka Chukwu Biafra bụ obodo anyị amarọ m ife bụ Naijiria ikuku bụ ya lisi guo kedu ife ọ ga-eme n'iku Nnamdi Kanu ọhamadike Biafra ife mela anyị ole n'ụwa ka njikube egwu ọlụ ịlụlụ n'ụwa juru m anya isi kpata Igbo n'ụlọ juru m anya ekene ka njibi ole n'ụwa Nnamdi Kanu ekene ka njibi ole n'ụwa Nnamdi Kanu ọhamadike Biafra onye afari wetu ịrapụrụ oche eze nna yi wee were ndụ yi wee tinye ka anyị nwere onwe anyị ife ọma n'ụwa makọ na be yi ife dị mma ọmakọ na be yi abala nso n'ụmụ nọ n'egwu ngwanụ ka ikele n'odogwu Nnamdi Kanu odogwu abụrụ ọka ime mbụ ma ncha Nnamdi Kanu kịtịkpa gbara anyị ọghọlụ mbuze Nnamdi Kanu onye afara ibe kwuo Nnamdi Kanu ike akwụgo n'ilo yi Nnamdi Kanu n'ilo yi na-achọzi pistọl Nnamdi Kanu n'ilo yi na-achọzi dialọg Nnamdi Kanu ọ sị na ọ bụ reconstruction Nnamdi Kanu mana anya da n'ozi oyibo Nnamdi Kanu Biafra bụ obodo anyị Nnamdi Kanu Biafra bụ n'anyị anyị ga-ana anyị ga-ana n'oge zugo Nnamdi Kanu onye nọchi ụzọ ife ọbụla owelu Nnamdi Kanu Ichemafo, Ohamadike, Lobukibu, Nnamdi Kanu, Ohamadike, Emeka Gifto Imo, Nnamdi Kanu, Chisikene Kanu, Ohamadike, Edozi Ada Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, Adani Bioramo, Ohamadike, Isi Suchen Nakano, Nnamdi Kanu, Ohamadike, Ifemina His Royal Highness, Nnamdi Kanu, Ohamadike, Ese Israel Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Ohamadike, Nnamdi Kanu Dogu, Nnamdi Kanu, Ohamadike, Engike Bunako, Nnamdi Kanu, Ohamadike, Anyamelo Sondi Neliaka, Nnamdi Kanu, Ohamadike, Ifemena His Excellency, Nnamdi Kanu, Ohamadike, Governor Fayose, Nnamdi Kanu, of Ekiti, Ohamadike, Edumaka Femi Kayode, Nnamdi Kanu, Ohamadike, Ndibo Kanala Lola, Nnamdi Kanu, Ohamadike, Mami Milikiti Etetego Nola, Nnamdi Kanu, Anigana, Honorable Chidoka, Nnamdi Kanu, Iko Bosuwala, Ohamadike, Dogune Kenemi, Nnamdi Kanu, Madu Ejiagao, Ohamadike, Egwa Balance Tidogo, Nnamdi Kanu, Egwi Kolobia, Ohamadike, Kolobia Manoboda, Nnamdi Kanu, Kolobia Manoboda, Ohamadike, Kwanu Noge Kwenu, Nnamdi Kanu, Ohamadike Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, Ohamadike Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, Ohamadike, Ika Bugo Nilori, Nnamdi Kanu, Ohamadike, Ika Bugo Nilori, Nnamdi Kanu, Ohamadike.
Our Father who art in heaven, that your name may be hallowed by men, that we may bow at the mention of it, that we may offer every glory unto thee, that we may offer you every adoration and adulation, because there is none like thee. You fight our battles for us. Every blessed day you demonstrate through your kindness and your everlasting mercy that you are our Lord, our God, and our Creator. This evening we offer these your children unto thee all over this very planet that you created. They are listening across the entire 24 time zones on this very planet where they inhabit. They are listening to your gospel this very evening, this gospel of redemption, a gospel of hope, a gospel of restoration, a gospel of renewal, this very gospel of freedom, this very gospel of emancipation as only you ordained. That this very gospel must be preached, that mankind may be set free from the eternal damnation of the creation of the British. My goodness me, I want to remain in the spirit, because we must worship heaven. We answer your name, O Lord of hosts. Everything about us is designed to offer glory unto thee. We have atoned for our sins last year. This very year we have not only atoned for our sins, we have spilled, we have shed blood, they have shed our blood. We have let our sacrifice be made unto thee. Even on the 30th of August, as we are being felled by the bullets of the enemy, by the workers of iniquity and of darkness, we remain very strong today to beckon upon thee, to ask you for your mercy and for your grace, to ensure that your kingdom is restored upon the face of the earth, that you can bring your healing hand to bear upon the life of those of them that you created for one singular purpose, and that purpose alone, which is to worship you in truth and in every honesty. Is there any way that we have erred? Is there any way that our ancestors may have sinned? We confess before a congregation of the whole of humanity to ask you, O Lord of hosts, to have mercy upon us. You must have mercy upon us. We have suffered enough. We have been subjugated enough. We have been tortured enough. We have been imprisoned enough. We did not do these people anything. Our only crime is to answer your name. Our only crime is to be born your children. Our only crime is to excel at everything that we place our hands into. Our only crime is to exhibit your glory and your blessing, which manifestedly is upon our lives every blessed day. That is why they want to kill us. That is why the British want to join those of them who don't know you to destroy your creation and your inheritance. You will not allow shame to befall your name. You will not allow the enemies to triumph over the lives of your children, because you created us to exist, to worship, to honor, and to praise you. That is exactly what we are going to do when this Biafra comes. It will come in truth and in every honesty, because we remain every blessed day. Chukwa Biama believe we're whiter than white and whiter than snow. Is there any way that we have sinned that you cannot forgive us our trespasses, to enable us to fulfill your own word, which was spoken thousands of years ago, that instead of what you promised not to come to pass, that heaven and earth will cease to exist. You opened your mouth to bless mankind to the coming of Yahweh Yeshua, who came here and said, let your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Those words can never be in vain, because they are anchored upon your holiness and your magnificence. That is why in the end we know that Biafra will come, that these children that we have given birth to all over the world, and their children, and their children, and their children, as long as they give birth to them and they are Biafrans, they will worship you in truth and honesty. Through this very work we are doing, mankind will come to understand you. Let your miracle be wrought in our lives. Let us witness and behold your magnificence, your holiness, your mystery, and your grace under our command. O Lord of hosts, we call upon you. We call upon you to heal. We call upon you to provide succor to those of them who are inconsolable. We ask you to come and strengthen those who are weak. We ask you to restore hope where there is hopelessness. We ask you for inclusion where there is destitution. We ask you for one brotherhood, one camaraderie, one bone, one blood, and one flesh of your children. The Efiks and the Bibios, the Izon, the Shekiri, the Isobos, and also those of them from Isoko. We are traveling all the way to the lands of Igala. We are moving on from there to Idoma, to Igede, to the territories of the Igbo land. All these places we dedicate unto thee. All these lands of yours, we ask you to cover it with your mercy, because Biafra will come, and when it does, we will dance on the streets. I'm telling you, by the time that we are done, humanity will think that we are mad, we are drunk in your glory, and rightfully so, because your kingdom will come to rest upon this very earth. That very kingdom is the unadulterated, non-negotiable sovereignty of the Republic of Biafra, that your will may be fulfilled in our time. All this we pray, all this we ask for, in no other name apart from that name that belongs to you. I had in Sosine Bigebi. He said,
if you put up the 8 years of Obasanjo, the 3 years of Jonathan, the 6 years of Jonathan per se, is this 6 years? Yes, this is 6 years of Jonathan. You put together, you realize that if you put up your pen and paper, you realize they start to have about 15 years.
So if the North is being marginalized?
Well, being marginalized, that's the language.
People, if you are saying that Northerners feel marginalized in a way,
yes,
and then Southerners have been there for a while, what do you think the Southeasterners will talk about?
On normal circumstances, one would have assumed that the Southeast should be given an opportunity. But with the trend of things, with the events we are seeing today, with one of their loose son who is busy going about threatening the unity of the country, is a clear indication they are not prepared.
On behalf of the Seriki Fulani himself, I want to ask that we all spread our hands.
Aymana, go, Aymana. 1 minute, come inside.
You spoke about the Northerners preparing for 2023, and quite a number of people have said, why would this man be saying that Northerners should prepare for 2023 again? Aren't there other people in Nigeria? So could you expatiate on that?
This is democracy, and democracy, we run a constitutional democracy, and constitutional democracy is all about people. It's about number, and I have no doubt in my mind we have the number. I don't want to sound immodest. The 2015 election, 2019 election has clearly defined who is who. I'm not trying to be arrogant, and I'm also not saying that it's a thing that must be forcefully on Nigerians. But I'm saying, considering the fact that a lot of things had happened, let me make mention of two things. One was, vividly remember Obasanjo had a regime from 1999 to 2007, uninterrupted. Now hand over power democratically to Yar'Adua. Yar'Adua only lasted 1 year. The second year, he was ill. We had an acting president in that capacity, which is Jonathan. Jonathan had 1 year. Umaru had only 1 year. Jonathan had the other year. Then subsequently, there was issue of doctrine necessity that suddenly, after the demise of Yar'Adua, the second year and few months, there was issue of doctrine the necessity that made him substantive president at that time. When he becomes a president, you can now recall that Yar'Adua had only 1 year, even in his tenure. Jonathan had an acting president for 1 year and subsequently becomes substantive president for another 2 years at that first tenure of Yar'Adua regime. Now, in 2011, it's expected that Jonathan shouldn't have contested, since it's about rotational presidency, and we are supposed to have uninterrupted 8 years. Now, there was an interruption in 2011 where Jonathan contested and won the election. Even when some of us were totally against it, because we knew it would come to a day like this. He won the election. You know, normally it is very rare and very difficult to upturn election against an incumbent government. Jonathan now got his way for second term. Now, Jonathan finished. If you put up the 8 years of Obasanjo, the 3 years of Jonathan, the 6 years of Jonathan per se, is this 6 years? Yes, this is 6 years of Jonathan. You put together, you realize that if you put up your pen and paper, you realize they start to have about 15 years.
So if you the North is being marginalized?
Well, being marginalized, that's the language. Now, Yar'Adua had only 1 year for the northern slot. Even if Buhari successfully finishes 8 years, automatically you put together, we had only 9 years. So how can you compare 9 years? Even if we are given another opportunity in 2023, if we have another one shot that we may likely going to get, God willing, we have only 13 years. Already we have been cheated for 2 years. But by the way, at least it is better to go to 13 than just end the 9.
But is it about number of years one spends or competence? So, like as our speaker today mentioned, like competence.
Are you saying that you only have the competence one in southern part of the country? We don't have them in the north?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you say northerners,
the north will produce something competent with full capacity. Certainly not what we are seeing today. We will ensure that we bring a man from northern part of this country that will be buyable, sellable, to the southern people, and we have no doubt in our mind the southern people will be rest assured, will be more confident that this is truly a pan-Nigerian president we are going to produce by God's grace from 2023. And certainly we will lobby. We will call for attention. We will seek for understanding of Nigerians, and certainly it will come to pass.
Right. People, if you are saying that Northerners feel marginalized in a way,
yes,
and then Southerners have been there for a while, what do you think the Southeasterners will talk about?
On normal circumstances, one would have assumed that the Southeast should be given an opportunity. But with the trend of things, with the events we are seeing today, with one of their loose son who is busy going about threatening the unity of the country, is a clear indication they are not prepared. We are moving forward. You cannot on one hand seek for justice, and on the other hand again you are threatening the unity of a country. It's not there anywhere. So if they are truly serious, we should begin to see them to stop talking anyhow, stop threatening Nigerians. On that basis, then Nigerians will begin to be comfortable. Then we know they are prepared. Then subsequently, we can negotiate. Politics is about negotiating.
One thing I've noticed, Premier, while I've been here, is that Northerners seem to have, I might almost call it, obsession about the Igbos. Could you perhaps explain that to me?
Well, the Igbos are more or less the type of people whose desire is mainly to dominate everybody. If they go to a village, to a town, they want to monopolize everything in that area. If you put them in a labor camp as a laborer, within a year they will try to emerge as headman of that camp, and so on. Well, in the past, our people were not alive to their responsibilities, because you can see from our northernization policy that in 1952, when I came here, there weren't 10 Northerners in our civil service here. Then I tried to have it northernized, and now all important posts are being held by Northerners.
Is this policy of filling all key posts in the North solely with Northerners and not with other Nigerians a temporary or permanent one?
In actual fact, what it is a Northerner first. If you can't get a Northerner, then we take an expatriate like yourself on contract. If we can't, then we can employ another Nigerian, but on contract too. This is going to be permanent, I should say, as far as I can foresee, because it will be rather dangerous to see the number of boys who are now turning from all our learning institutions, coming out with having no work to do. I'm sure whichever government of the day might be, it will feel rather embarrassed, and it might even lead to bloodshed.
Doesn't this damage the idea, sir, of all people in all regions in Nigeria being fellow citizens of one country?
Well, it might, but you are, new to our region, but how many Northerners are employed in the East or in the West? The answer is no. And if there are, there may be 10 laborers employed only in the two regions.
Good afternoon, my fellow Biafrans. A lot of people has been asking question about why I have not made comments about Onyema issue, the chief and the post of APIS. Of course, I cannot make any comment on issue I have no knowledge about. But now I can say to you that I have the facts, I have the indictments against him from the United States, I have the documents right in front of me, and now I can boldly make a comment. And I will start by saying that it has become a crime in Nigeria for any Igbo man to embark on multi-billion-dollar business. This is the result. It has become a crime in Nigeria for any Igbo man to carry a successful business. The present government will do everything to tarnish your image as an Igbo man. The case of Ibeto, the case of Innocent, and every other well-to-do Igbo businessman in Nigeria is a very good example. And today they have embarked on the journey of disgrace to themselves, not to the person of Onyema. First of all, I would like to enlighten Nigerians about the indictment in question. The issue borders on Title 18, Section 1349 of the United States of America Criminal Code. And he will be indicted, or he has been indicted on Section on section 1344 of that Title 18 of the United States of America Criminal Code. The Title 18, section 1349 of United States of America Criminal Code reads, any person who attempts or conspires to commit any offense under this chapter shall be subject to the same penalty as those prescribed for the offense, the commission of which was the subject or the object of the matter or conspiracy. Under the Criminal Code of the United States of America, Title 18, Section 1344, it says, it is unlawful to knowingly execute or attempt to execute a scheme or artifice to defraud a financial institution or to obtain any of the money, fund, credit, asset, security, or other property owned by or under the custody or control of a financial institution by means of false, fraudulent pretense, representation, or premise. So, in addition to this, in order for you to be convicted of federal bank fraud under Title 18 of the United States of America Criminal Code, Section 1344, the prosecution must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you executed or attempted to execute a scheme substantially as charged in the indictment to defraud a financial institution or to obtain a financial institution money by means of false or fraudulent pretense. 2. Knowingly and willingly participated in this scheme with the intent to defraud or to obtain money by means of false or fraudulent pretense. 3. The financial institution was federally insured, a Federal Reserve Bank or a member of the Federal Reserve System. All this did not happen in Onyema's case. So, as I talk to you, the 36 pages of indictments against Onyema holds no water. The whole transaction was done from his Nigeria bank account to the bank account in the United States and from other organizations that he controlled and that he owns. Funds was transferred from the Ethnic Harmony International Center for Nonviolence and Peace Development, All Time Peace Media Communication Limited, and Every Child Limited from Nigeria to United States of America. There is no single transaction that was done and trying to defraud any bank in the United States of America. There is no such thing that Onyema was presented himself or misrepresented himself in order to defraud bank in Nigeria. The money was transferred from these non-governmental organizations that he controls. He is also the founder, chairman of several entities in Nigeria, including Foundation for Ethnic Harmony, International Center for Nonviolence, Peace Development, and All Time Peace Media Communication Limited. And every fund, every amount that was transferred to the United States of America were approved by the CBN, the Central Bank of Nigeria. So where is the crime taking place? In the indictment also, they listed series of transactions that took place between Onyema entities and his bank account in the United States, and that the wife was signatory to many of the bank accounts, and that the other account was closed, and a cashier check was issued to him of about $4 million, and he used that to open another account and also made his wife the signatory to that account. So what is the crime here? Another thing is that they claim that Onyema has opened a company called Springfield Aviation, which was duly registered, legitimately registered in the state of Georgia, in the United States of America, and according to them, he employed the service of one EM, probably a company who, according to them, has no knowledge or no training about aviation. So that Mr. Onyema employed a service of one EM to oversee the acquisition of aviation instruments, of aircraft or whatever, or in agreement to perform the acquiring of aircraft. How does that amount to crime under this financial fraud? How does that account to a fraud under this Title 18 of the United States of America Criminal Code? This is really laughable. And then they went ahead to say that the company of which this Springfield Aviation contracted, called EM, has no knowledge, no training about aviation. If they have no knowledge about aviation, and the Springfield registered company, legitimately registered in the United States, why are you not indicting the company who is operating or who have agreed on this contract without having the license, without having the required license? Why is it coming under this United States Criminal Code Title 18? Why is it coming under that? So this is really laughable. You talk about money laundering. Money laundering cannot be money laundering when a Central Bank of Nigeria approved the transfer of money for a legitimate business in the United States of America. The money was transferred from organization that was funded by Onyema himself. So if there is issue to be sorted out, any financial issue to be explained, it should be the financial audit of this organization, this financial audit of this Foundation for Ethnic Harmony, International Center for Nonviolent Peace Development, All Time Peace Media Communication Limited, and Every Child Limited. So the Nigerian government should be concerned, has APIS violated the Constitution by transferring funds to support the business, his business entity, to acquiring aircraft from the United States and all that. So the financial report and the financial audit should be the question here, and that issue should be in Nigeria, not in the United States of America, because APIS has not, Onyema has not presented himself or misrepresented himself to any financial institution in America and trying to obtain money from them or pretending to obtain money under false pretense. That has never happened. So why are you indicting him? Why are you indicting him under Title 18 of the United States of America Criminal Code? This is laughable. And this case will just die a natural death. This is another evidence that the Buhari administration, in collaboration with some corrupt officials in the United States, are just trying to bring Igbo businesses back down. And most of them lacks merit. This allegation and this indictment lacks merit, because the United States Criminal Code states very clear. All the indictments against Onyema has no weight. It has no substance. So the kind of crime that falls under this Title 18 of the United States of America Criminal Code is, for example, if you are running a company and your company going bankrupt and you are unable to take credit because of the record of your company or because of your personal record, and you are able to get credit, then you try to falsify documents to present to any financial institution and try to misrepresent yourself or try to misrepresent your company to be able to acquire loan needed to start running your business or try to put your business in order under false pretense. This is where this kind of criminal code comes in. So you have conspired, you have tried, you have intent to defraud the financial institution in the United States of America, and that falls under this section. Onyema's action has no relevancy with this article, with this Title 18 of the U.S. Title 18 Section section 1344 respectively of the United States Criminal Code, because his transaction was genuine. His transaction was approved by a central bank of a sovereign state in Nigeria before the money was transferred. The money was transferred for business, and it was the business in the purpose of transferring the money was to acquire aircraft. Aircraft was acquired. Whether Onyema acquired something for himself or for his family in the United States of America is nobody's business. It is nobody's business, because the money was legitimately transferred. The money was legitimate from the origin, which is from Nigeria, and Nigerian government has not come to say the money was fraudulently acquired. We have not heard that. Or is there any secret towards the investigation in the United States that the Nigerian government is not telling us? So have they gone to accuse him in the United States without having a substantial evidence to show that the money was acquired under false pretense from Nigeria, or it has fraudulently acquired the money? This is the case. So the money was transferred from this organization he funded to the United States of America, and instead of the United States to do a thorough investigation, and they are just relying on transferring money from Nigeria to this. I was waiting to read where he has presented some kind of false documents, falsified document in trying to acquire funds or credit or loan from the American bank, but that didn't happen.
What Nigerian army is doing is recycling insurgency. They are simply recycling insurgency. And my worries and my pain for Nigerian people is that we have docile leaders from different sections of this country, from different national, ethnic nationalities. Leaders that have chosen to be docile, that have chosen to deliberately remain dumb and stooge and a walking stick in the hands of fews. The last time I checked, we have prominent leaders from northwest, from southeast, from southwest, from south-south, from middle belt, who are seeing the excesses and they are seeing the misgiven by some few individuals in this country, and are keeping quiet. I put it to them that in no distant time, if they think because they are leaders today, they have the backings of security, they have all it takes to be protected, in no distant time, they will also be affected, because there is no champion forever. They will not remain in power forever. And the evil that will befall Nigerian people will cut off with them. So the high time they wake up to speak, and then decide and take cogent and the very, very correct decision against this, I see as recycling of insurgency, the better for us. I don't know if you are seeing the danger ahead. It's easier, I'm a trained forensic psychologist. It's easier for you to rehabilitate somebody who is mentally retarded, either as a result of drugs or any other factor. It's easier to rehabilitate him and redefine his mindset and make him a better person, and as well re-engage him to the society. An insurgent is an extremist. He is not dwelling all he's doing based on how much you are giving him. An insurgent is an extremist that can sacrifice even his life, and thinking what he's doing is doing it to the glory of God Almighty. And let me give you my take on this and where I am seeing danger ahead. So once upon a time, we had OPC. And these people terrorized the Southwest. And the government dislodged them because of the excesses in their activities. They were never seen as potentials to be re-engaged into the Nigerian army. The last time I checked, we had Bakassi. They were also pushed away by Nigerian security, and their activities were banned. They were never seen as potentials to be re-engaged into Nigerian military. The last time I checked, we had Niger militants, the Avengers, and the whole of this. They were also given amnesty by the federal government. These boys who have the potentiality to dislodge Nigerian military, confront them headlong in so many instances, we are never seen as potentials to be engaged, to be re-engaged into Nigerian military. The recent one is the Ipob that were dislodged and even proscribed by Nigerian government. I am aware most of them are still in detention. This group of persons have never been seen as potentials that will be rehabilitated and be engaged into Nigerian military. But here you have a terrorist. People who have seen Nigerian military to be their number one enemies. People who have come out headlong to confront Nigerian military, killing them and other innocent people. They will just go and say they have surrendered, and then the next thing, Nigeria will still spend the taxpayers' money instead of prosecuting them according to the act of terrorism and probably hang them to death. Take them off the face of this country because they are terrorizing the people of Nigeria. Nigerian government will go aside the huge sum of money is spending on security because of this Boko Haram, will go and again spend more money rehabilitating them, and the worst of it, engage them into Nigerian military. If you are not seeing the danger I'm seeing, if our leaders, those side leaders I call them, from ethnic nationality, are not seeing the danger that will befall us in near future, I am putting it today. Some of us have sacrificed our life to say and put on the table nothing but the truth and to help the near future. I see myself as a leader in near future, and I will not be leading a country that will be in total chaos. America, as powerful as they are, I've never heard when they will arrest ISIS and then think they will now re-engage ISIS into American military. It's not done. American military is instead infiltrate ISIS. They will instead infiltrate ISIS to get intelligence report and then nip it on the board on whatever situation to curtail their excesses. But in the case of Nigeria, you are now seeing Boko Haram infiltrating the Nigerian military. And that is to tell you the danger that is lying ahead. In the next 10, 20 years, mind you, we will have more than thousands of Boko Haram into our Nigerian military. Recycling insurgency, that is what I called it. And what it means, we have vibrant, able, committed youths of Nigerians. I give an example with FCT. The last recruitment list I saw from Nigerian military, nobody, no indigenous of FCT was enlisted in the list I saw. We have so many youths who want to join Nigerian army, but the opportunity is not being given. But here is an insurgency giving automatic ticket to join Nigerian military. What is wrong in after sensitizing, rehabilitating them, engage them into what we call civilian JTF? What is so important that you make them officers of Nigerian military? There is danger lying ahead, and let Nigerian cities and wake up from their slumber. And our docile leaders of ethnic nationality wake up and speak when it's time. Now, the issue is just this. If you want to join Nigerian military now, how I see it, go join Boko Haram. After 1-2 months, surrender yourself. Nigerian military will bring you. They will go and do what they call rehabilitation and engage you. That's what it means. The multiplier effect is negative. It's very, very, very dangerous going ahead. And so I call on Nigerian people to again open their eyes and say no to this trend, ugly trend that is continuing in our society.
Beyond and ahead of you.
Ipob, the indigenous peoples of Biafra, have made it into some kind of policy that they intend to attack as a first step.
No, they don't intend to attack.
They already did one. Senator, they did one already.
Is that what you mean? No, what they said is that...
No, where I'm going is this.
Let me get where you're going.
Yes, they said that even though they did the first before they now announced it as a policy, maybe in order to keep the element of surprise, they attacked Deputy Senate President, your colleague, Kekweremadu, in Nuremberg, in Germany. And then after that, they then said they were going to attack all, publicly humiliate all Southeastern leaders. And then, of course, Nigerian leaders. They threatened to go after the president during his visit to Japan for ticket 7. But those who have been watching this point out a certain irony. The leadership of Ipob, the leader of Ipob, is said to owe his freedom today to you, Senator Ekweremadu, and a couple of others like that. So what went wrong that they now think you are part of the problem?
I don't think that is the best way to look at it. We start from the basis. What have been their grouse? Their grouse is what I had said earlier, which is we see a situation where in the same country there are bifurcated treatments for the same citizens. And so, if you're from the Southeast, first, you're denied access to national resources. Secondly, the Southeast is a zone that is under siege by all the security formations in this country.
Well, the reason they give is that the solution that Ipob has tried to implement was to secede.
And no, I'm coming. The siege was there before Ipob. From any time that you can go back from the end of the Civil War till today, if you go from the town of Onitsha to Owerri and go from the town of Owerri to Aba, you will get not less than 140 police checkpoints. Every 1 kilometer there's a police checkpoint. What do? They're not checking for security. They are simply extorting money from commuters on the road, from bus drivers, KK drivers, almost. People pay to be posted to the Southeast. And you leave the Southeast and you're driving all the way to the rest of the country. You don't see the same type of intense policing, let's put it that way. So what the question you will ask yourself is, why are we different? Why are we treated differently? That happened long time before the question of Ipob came. They didn't bring people because of Ipob. It is the fact that all these things had happened, that there was a deliberate policy to cripple all the ports in the Southeast region, Port Harcourt, Calabar, Warri, all those ones. None of them is working. You will have to take everything to Lagos. And so you're an importer in Onitsha. You must go to Lagos. The shortest one to you is Warri, actually, before even Port Harcourt, One, all those ones. Why? You can't have a ship pass through there. Why? No dredging. Why is there no dredging? Federal government policy, no contracts for it. So you ask yourself, if this is like this way, then that means that there is a deliberate policy to keep us down or something. And so, what is the reaction? Two ways. You appeal or you fight. And so, you have two sets of people in the Southeast now. Those who want to, let's continue talking, let's see how we can resolve this issue. And then those who say, no, we're already down and out. What else does it take? Let us all die. And, the federal government just turns a blind eye. And I continue to say, and I have sat on the floor of the Senate and I've said it, why has this federal government not ever opened their mouth to say that the herdsmen are terrorists? Why? Why would this federal government not ever agree that all those people who are carrying AK-47s are killing people are terrorists? Yet, it was so easy to quickly go to court to get an injunction and declare Ipob terrorists. That means that in the mindset of those who are running this country today, they see some people as their enemies. They have not come out of the Civil War. 50-something years later, they are still fighting the Civil War. And so what they do today is that they come and call us. I'm a politician. I'm one of those who are seen as, and say, oh, don't worry. If you just be with us, we will make you president. And they think they are talking to fools. And they tell us, oh, don't worry. This is time for Igbo president. No Igbo man wants a president. What we want is that you restructure this country so that me and you, Ladi, we are seen as citizens. So that if I carry an AK-47, you jail me. It's not if I carry a flag, you jail me, and then I carry an AK-47, you say, leave him, he's our brother coming from Burkina Faso. How can that be?
But you haven't touched on what I said.
And what is that?
About Ipob.
I have touched on Ipob, and I've told you the underpilling.
Why do they think that you are now part of the problem?
The reason really, the reason really is that they look at me, they look at Ekweremadu, they look at all of us, and they say, but you people are sitting down there. Because there are also young people who believe that you should do the fight, and not that there are other ways of engaging in this. We're not as young as they are. Most of us have crossed 60, and so we believe that you should talk. Quite all right. So you could understand their frustration, because what they will feel is that, you have talked for too long at every point, and they will tell them, no, understand it. 4 years is not an eternity. So we will have to continue to do this engagement. Let me put it that way.
But from what you've said, the political calculus, I've spoken to quite a number of people, and the political calculus is said to now favor the Southeast.
Not true. Not true. It's nothing but
if as the political alignments are,
yes,
and they have been since 1999.
Yes.
The South-South, the Southwest have each had a president.
Yes.
The Northwest,
yes,
have had a president. And now, if you take it beyond the geopolitical zones and you talk of simply North and South, it started in the South, it's gone to the North, it's come back to the South, it's gone to the North, and by 2023 it's supposed to come back to the South. In this chair you are sitting, Chief Edwin Clark, Chief John Wodo, have all said that in the case of Chief Clark, he was clear that there's no contesting it. Morality, justice, and even politics dictate that it is the turn of the Southeast. So when you say, as the most senior ranking Southeasterner in the government structure today, that that's not true, many people will be taken aback.
Yeah, I'll have a very simple answer to that. If somebody cannot let you be his gate man, how is he going to give you the keys to his house to come and live in the house? And I've just pointed out to you, show me that one person in this present government of APC, apart from statutory people, who is in this government. Show me one. Statutory ministers. Of course, you must have ministers. That is what the Constitution. Tell me which other person. They have SGF, they have this, they have E, they have A, they have all those ones. They never let any person from the Southeast get near. And then they will tell the Southeasterner, oh, this and that they will get there. How are you going to get there? And I continue to reiterate, and I ask everybody in APC, if you don't let me be your gate man, how can you give me the key to your house? Because if you want me to be president, that means you're going to bring me in. I'm going to be part of what you do. I'm going to have a role in your government. So if you're a minister, you don't see the president except you go through the chief of staff. Is that not what we are told? Or you write your memo and it goes through the secretary to government. So where do you get in? Where? Yet we have top people. We had former Senate presidents and all that who are part of the APC, yet they are nowhere to be found. And so if somebody by his demeanor, by his action, does not let you even smell the seat of government, and then the man tells you, don't worry, in 4 years' time, I'm going to give it to you. How will you believe him? That means you're not thinking. So, and that's why I'm saying that those of us who have seen all this, we are saying, it really doesn't matter what you tell me. Because what you tell me is not what is happening. We want that we do devolution of powers. We change the revenue formula. We make sure that part of the revenue formula is the criteria is changed so that you can move things away. That population plays a part and no longer land mass and all that. Those are the things that we need to do for us to know that we are having a viable union.
So is that very good? Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
People, great Biafrans, wherever you are on this very planet, this very creation of the Most High, Elohim, Chukwukika Biama Purumi Yanine, I welcome you. And as I do so, I will encourage you to welcome all those around you, friends, family, and lovers of freedom. This is an unadulterated live presentation on this very glorious temple of truth, on where the light will ceaselessly shine, that the restoration of Biafra may happen before us, before this very lucky generation. This gospel we shall preach unequivocally and without fear before our enemies. That Elohim may be merciful upon us. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you, because unlike any other, this very hallowed platform, this very Radio Biafra, is listened to across the entire 24 time zones of this very world. Because we are Biafrans, we are everywhere. We are indeed the salt of this very earth. Wherever we go to, we bring light, we bring enlightenment, and we bring the glory of God upon that very community, not minding the distractions or enemies, not minding all they have done and will continue to do, to tarnish and to desecrate the wonderful name of Biafra and those who are privileged to answer it. We are here to right all the wrongs. We are here to follow the path of the straight and the narrow. We are here to do that which is right before God in heaven and humanity on this very earth. We are here to restore Biafra. And regardless of the sacrifice that we are called upon to make, this is one glorious and righteous path we will not deviate from. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, all over this very planet. And by the grace of Elohim, I will remain ever faithful and loyal servant of the wonderful people of Biafra, as mandated by heaven, because what we do is not through the design of man, but is an edict sent all the way down from the abode of the creator of everything that is made. I welcome you once again, and this evening, please, it is very, very important that you get your pen and your paper ready. Do not forget your common sense, don't abandon it, that is all we ask of you. Because the problem that we continue to encounter, not just as Biafrans, not just as Africans, but black people all over the world, is our inability to reason, our inability to discern, our inability to digest information and be able to do something tangible with it. That is why every other race have overtaken us. That is why we continue to languish behind. That is why development is almost unattainable. And that is why mediocrity pervades every aspect, every sector of governance, and every sphere of human endeavor. This evening, we shall shed light on this very bane of our time. And after this program, I believe very strongly that we will have attained at least a modicum of reasoning capacity. Because without reason, we are not human beings, we are animals. And that is why the damnable contraption, the British devilish creation that is called Nigeria, will continue to fail because people do not reason. They are incapable of reasoning. We call it common sense, but I assure you it is not cheap, it is not common either. It is not cheap and it is not common. And this evening, I will take you through a journey. I call it a journey of hopelessness and stupidity. There is one recurring decimal in everything that is wrong with the zoo, in everything that is wrong with Black Africa, in everything that is wrong with our inability to escape poverty and deprivation, our inability to escape dictatorship, our inability to run an open, civilized society. All the fault lies in the brain of a black man. Our brain is the problem. Thankfully, IPOB is not locked into that, should I say, cycle of ignorance. We have broken away from it. And this evening, we shall enlighten humanity. Because this is the greatest university on this earth. If you don't learn from Radio Biafra, then you know that you are a Tiboribo, you're not designed to learn. You'll never learn anything in your life. That is why when we gather here to offer praise to the Most High, when we congregate all over the world to listen to this redeeming gospel of enlightenment, things happen in the lives of those that seek the truth. And the same will happen tonight. This is a live presentation on the 6th day of November in the year of our Most High Elohim 2019. The time now, if I'm not mistaken, is approximately 9 minutes past 7 p.m. in the land of Biafra. And so it is, regardless of where you are, the same number of minutes past the top of the hour. Without Biafra, Africa is blind. That is why there is inordinate conspiracy. That is why there is a concerted effort by the powers that be to extinguish this very flame, because they know that without Biafra, Africa will remain in the doldrums forever and ever. They know without Biafra, a black man is nothing. They know without Biafra, there can never be any dignity. Without Biafra, there will be no enlightenment. Without Biafra, life itself will lose its meaning. For everybody who comes from the sub-Saharan region of Africa, that is why Biafra will always lead the way. And this very noble family of IPOB will always pilot its affairs. Because if you find yourself in IPOB, it is not by accident. You are there through divine mandate from heaven. Only the blessed children of the Most High can be part of this very noble family. That is why we are relentless. Those who do not understand the meaning of the word relentless should go and look it up in a dictionary. We are not going to stop. Nothing can stop us. Death can't even stop us. It doesn't matter how many that died. It doesn't matter how many that collapsed on the left and to the right. As long as there's a way in front of us, we will continue to march. Heaven knows we will march until freedom is assured, until Biafran sovereignty is enthroned on this very earth. Nothing will ever stop it. Nothing will stop it. Therefore, we must pray. Others may feel ashamed, but we do not. We know we never made ourselves. Only Elohim in heaven, Chukwokika Biama, decreed that we must come. And we have come. And Biafra must be restored in our time. It doesn't matter what the Efulefus do. It doesn't matter how many presidential slots they promise them. It doesn't matter what they come up with tomorrow. It doesn't matter the places that the British High Commissioner intends to visit or may have visited. What concerns us is only one irreducible fact of life. That fact of life is Biafra, and Biafra must come. The angels are circling the throne of the Creator. They bow and they sing. They say, glory be to your holy name. Glory be to your holy name, because you are holy. Indeed, Chukwokika Biama, do we put all our trust? The same way our ancestors put their trust in thee and you sustained them, so have this very generation. Do not allow us to be confused. This is the greatest prayer we can ever pray today and ask for your help. Because our people, some of us are lost in a spiral of confusion. as a result of the irredeemably corrupt society that they unceremoniously and disgracefully found themselves in the damnable zoological Republic of Nigeria. Come and deliver your children in your righteousness, we pray. Incline also, Elohim, to escape this very evil that is Nigeria. Come and listen to our prayers and deliver us, because only you is our strong habitation. We have no other fortress apart from thee. There we have decided to continually reside, because you have given us laws and commandments to save us. You are our rock and our fortress. You will deliver Biafra, Elohim, out of the hands of the wicked, out of the hand of the unrighteous and cruel people that pretend by paying lip service that they love us. The only thing they want is oil and gas, and to destroy your land. They have sown the seeds of confusion, that brother no longer know brother, that what you once made as Biafra, they have dissected, they have bastardized, they have balkanized, they have destroyed into enclaves that are unrecognizable even before thy sight. They claim that a man can create a nation, that a man can do what only you, Elohim, has done from time immemorial, which is to create a nation. Only thee, O Lord, can create a nation, not man. Everything made by man is temporary. All the handiwork of Frederick Lugard will come to zero, because you did not ordain it. No man can attach his name to the Creator. Only you is the Creator, Elohim. The work of men must perish and come to nothing. Your will must endure in our lives, and Biafra will come to stand to represent your glory and your light in Africa, that the world may say that indeed the glory of the Most High dwelleth even amongst the inhabitants of the dark continent. Therefore, we call upon thee to be at our side, at our front, and on our back, to shield and to guide us into victory, to sustain all the efforts we are making to ensure that Biafra comes through your eternal grace, that your name, Elohim, will be glorified in the land of the ancients, in the land of Biafra. Not just this generation, not the generation of our children or their children's children, but for eternity, for as long as there is a Biafran on this very earth. Oh Lord, we will worship your holy name in truth and in every honesty, that your will may be done upon our lives always, now and forevermore, we pray. He said, we have come to preach the gospel of redemption. Anybody who is aware of how we do things here will testify to our consistency. I have chosen to broadcast this very evening, not only to bring you the news as it happens, but also to analyze and to draw, or should I say, to tease out the importance of some of the news and the need for all of us to understand it the way it is, truthfully, without lies, because we do not lie here. We have come to preach a gospel that will remain forever and ever. That is why anything we say here comes to fruition. Anything we say must come to pass. That is why this platform is very, very special and holy. This evening, I want you to listen very attentively. Get your pen and your paper handy and ready. Very, very critical. If your friends are not listening, if your family members are not listening, please endeavor to encourage them to listen to this broadcast tonight. It is very, very pivotal, very, very important that we understand and be properly schooled in the art of statecraft. Understand this very well. For us to build the Biafra of our dreams, we need to reason and to think in a particular way. If we think like other black Africans do, we will fail. If we attempt to think the way that other Africans do, believe you me, we will fail. We must think like Biafrans, very pure, very rigorous. We must investigate. We must at all times be very close to our common sense. Very, very important, because if you don't have it, you will not understand this very gospel that I'm about to preach this very evening. It could be morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. But where I am, it is evening. And so also is it in Biafra land. This program this evening is about correcting what I call defective reasoning in our people. We must begin by asking ourselves a very simple question. Why is it that other parts of the world are developing, including even the South American states that were only a few decades ago were classified as third world countries? Ask yourself this question. Why is it that South Africa, that was built by white people, is now going backwards? Ask yourself why there is the preponderance of dictatorship and totalitarianism in Africa. Ask yourself why politics in Africa is sentimentally loaded towards tribal and ethnic loyalty. Ask yourself why you do not have light. Ask yourself why you don't have drinking water. Ask yourself why you keep on allowing fool after fool, idiot after idiot to occupy the positions of power. Ask yourself why those that be would always find the need to manipulate and to rig elections to the detriment of the overall well-being of the entire population. Ask yourself why your schools are not functioning. Ask yourselves why you have no hospitals. Ask yourselves why you don't have any good roads. Ask yourselves why there is no housing. You should continue to ask yourself these questions, because any day you find the answer to it, believe you me, if somebody were to stand in front of you and say, I'm a Nigerian, you will shoot them dead, I'm telling you. Only then will you appreciate the gravity of the stupidity of a zoo animal. Only then will you understand it. You must pay very close attention this evening. This gospel is very important. You must understand it. This lecture this evening is directed primarily at Biafrans. Biafrans, all the way from Idoma land to Ipob, from Ebanke, all the way from Ebanke to Bakassi. You must listen, and listen very, very carefully and attentively this evening, because we all know that one Nigeria, one zoo is unworkable and is doing more harm than good. We have also seen with our eyes and in our own foolishness some people who can never be saved. All they talk about is presidency in 2023. All they talk about is the turn of our village and elected office. They have come. They have not learned anything. They are not good students of history. They are not scholars of social development and advancement. All they do is to sit in one place and pontificate over issues that are, in fact, quite frankly, irrelevant. The only thing that can save you when you are in a quagmire, as our people have found themselves in today, is to seek redemption. That redemption comes from freedom. Freedom is the foundational base upon which every advancement is possible. You can be materially well off. You can be rich as much as you like. But if you do not have freedom, you are nothing. And no matter how hard you try, you can never attain that pinnacle of preeminence the way that the United States have enjoyed more than any other civilization on the face of this very earth since the inception of mankind. Why is America the longest surviving civilization of its kind? Is because they have freedom. It may not be perfect, but they have it. They debate it, they advance it, they curtail it, they do all they like with it. Power primarily, till this very day, reside with the people. That is the reason why they're advancing. But in our place, all some fools want to talk about is election cycle. Election. And I've said this before. If election is the panacea, if election is that magic pill that when you take it, all your problems are solved, why are you queuing for visa to USA? Why do you want to travel to Europe? And let me ask you this question. The Prime Minister of Canada, is he from your village? The answer is no. So it doesn't actually matter who is in power. It is how the society is structured. I am not leaving it to the, should I say, the goodwill or the platitude, or should I say, expected good behavior of whoever is in power. You have to draw up, you have to lay the foundation, you need to prepare the structure upon which you pin all your hopes. And that is freedom. Not something that man can give you. It is something we can all give to ourselves through the grace of God in heaven. You must also understand, very, very importantly, very, very critically, as we advance this very evening, that our shops are being burnt. The latest one is Idumota. They went to Onitsha, they firebombed it. People died. How many days we have all forgotten? We know how people value lives where we come from, but all of a sudden we no longer value lives anymore. We all understand that. When people die these days, it doesn't, at least in the most horrific of circumstances, it doesn't occur to anybody anymore to say, how do we stop this problem from happening again? I just want to draw this thing out so that you understand it very clearly. You know, there was an air crash involving Boeing 777 MAX, or whatever they call it. You know that. I want to show you an example between how white people reason and black people, and why white people are advancing and blacks are not, especially those from Africa. I want you to understand it is in the way that you reason. What happened after the Ethiopia crash? Both the United States government and the Federal Safety and Transportation Board, whatever they call it in the USA, and Boeing and airlines all over the world sat down and said, we don't want to lose more lives. What did they do? They grounded the entire fleet of Boeing, is it 777 MAX or whatever they call it. Now, understand this very carefully. Let us compare the number of people that was killed in Onitsha with those that died in those twin air crash involving Boeing 777 MAX. I'm sure that's what they call it. If I'm mistaken, please correct me. We have not learned anything. Do you know that the Alamajiri came to Onitsha, packed their tanker, opened it up? Some idiots went to go and collect a highly inflammable liquid with open containers. The same Alamajiri set fire to it, and our people burned. Shops were burned. Businesses destroyed. Do you know that the same thing happened in Mbano? Some people foolishly went to go and replicate exactly what happened in Onisha. The same happened at Nnewi. We know that the one at Omaba, they decided to go and explode and destroy our businesses. They are burning our businesses in Lagos. They are burning our businesses in Kano. Even the Nigerian government have now compelled the Ghanaian government to suppress our people in Ghana who are doing their legitimate business in Ghana, asking them to shut down their shops. Do you know the funniest thing? This is not the number one trading news for our people. It is not the number one discussion point for our people. All some fools are concerned about is about 2023. It's about how to elect their friend or their village man to go to Abuja and become something that nobody had ever become before in the zoo. Something that Zeke never became. Something that Ironsi tried and failed. Something that Ekweme tried and was frustrated. Waforiz was there for some months. What happened? Nothing happened. Till this very day. The same group of people responsible for the deplorable state of our roads, those who couldn't build hospitals, those who are presiding over our crumbling schools, those who have made it their life's mission to frustrate the yearnings and aspirations of our youth. You graduate, you have no job, and all you can do is to try and defend the system that is indefensible. Can't you see that you have something wrong with you upstairs? Ochanja Market was burnt. We have sent our commiserations. The same thing we are doing for those at Idumota in Lagos. Ebonyi State, some of you do not know, is an active theater. As we speak, Fulanis are struggling to take our land, and IPOB is there telling them it will never happen. Some of you don't know that the so-called boundary disputes between so-called indigenes of Benue and those in Ebonyi, that they are brother fighting brother. You don't know that? Some of us don't know this. There are some people in the northern part of Ebonyi and onto the eastern part of Ebonyi as well, who do not know that these boundary disputes, all these community clashes were engineered by a Fulani caliphate to divide us. Do you know that the Igbos in Ebonyi are fighting Igbos in Benue? Are you aware of that? Some of you don't know. And now the Fulanis will come with their cattle to take over our land by claiming, after all, it's in dispute. Are you aware of that? Do you know that? You see, I will touch this later on. When people say that you don't have regard for the lives of Ohaneze and the governors, I say to them for a good reason. If I were to be, or if I was the leader of our people during the gerrymandering of our borders, I would tell them, no, you better kill me or put me in prison before you gerrymander our borders away. How can you have 3 Igbo-speaking communities, Igbo-speaking, carve them into Benue? And today they are the ones fighting their own brothers, their own flesh and blood, because one stupid illiterate Alamagiri from the north said that here is now the new boundary. And Ohanese accepted it. The so-called, we are the elite, they accepted it. The balkanization of your own land, you accepted it in order to please your Fulani masters because of the contracts they will give you, because they will make your child a minister, because they will give you a senatorial seat or maybe a governor. The same thing happened in Cross River. Igbo-speaking communities in Cross, of course we are one people, we are the same Biafra. I'm just trying to tell you how we that claim we are sensible have allowed Fulani Caliphate that didn't go to school, cattle rearers, to be manipulating and twisting our brain. Of course, I know that Britain is advising them. I know that very well. It's part of divide and rule. Why don't you cut them into 2? Take half and give them to the other people and tell them they're not part of Igbo, and then they will agree. Now, some idiots are doing it in Anioma. But we are countering them, are we not? These are the things you ought to know. Every blessed day, people don't reason anymore. Our people no longer reason. They burn your shops in Onisha. They burn it in Aba. They burn Newi. They burn Idumota. They burn those in Kano. And you get up in the morning and you carry on as if nothing has ever happened to you. You're just blissfully ignorant of the threat you're facing, not just as an individual or your family, but as a race. We are in mortal danger. And who are those to blame? They are the people that the British High Commissioner have come to see. She started her tour yesterday. She will finish tomorrow. And some people stupidly and foolishly ask, what is it that IPOB is doing? We cannot see anything because you are blind. If not for IPOB, why do you think the British High Commissioner will come to Biafra land to talk about heaven knows what? I will go into that in details later. Why do you think she came? To talk about peace and one Nigeria. If nothing is happening, do you think she would come? And if something is happening as it is really happening, who are those responsible for that? Is it not IPOB? Who else is doing it? Who else has the capacity, the intellectual capacity, or should I say, the clout to do or to compel the British High Commissioner to visit Biafra and they never go to? They don't visit. The previous one came when I was in Kuje prison to ask them if I should be killed or released. I know what some of the so-called frontline politicians and traditional rulers said. I know. Because in Britain, there is Freedom of Information Act. If you ask questions, they will give you the information. I want to sound a note of warning to everybody, the so-called traditional rulers, the so-called politicians, that anything you say to the British ambassador, let me call her ambassador, the High Commissioner, we in IPOB will hear about it. All we need to do is to apply for Freedom of Information Act, demanding to know what transpired when the woman went to Enugu and a few other places, and they will tell us exactly what you said. And then we will come after you. The only thing we want is Biafra. If you want to contest for presidency for the rest of your life, you and your family, you, your wife and your children, that is your business, do it within Biafra. Not within the zoo. Because they have nothing to offer, and I shall also demonstrate later on. I will tell you why contesting in Nigeria is foolish and hopeless. If not for IPOB, who else? I ask. And who are you? Can you do it? Do you have the liver or the stomach? You can't do it. You can stay by the side and yap all you like. You cannot do it. You are not called to do it. You don't have what it takes to embark on this very mission. So when we speak, you must listen. The same way that I told you that Fulanis were coming, some of you thought it was a joke, and they came. They killed, they slaughtered, they raped our mothers, they pillaged, and they went. Nothing happened to them. Because the first Operation Python dance came, nobody did anything. That is why now, every two weeks, they have another operation happening in the southeast. Southeast is a theater of war. Well, no longer northeast, but southeast this time around. Some of you foolishly go through social media like idiots who cannot reason. Somebody's telling you to your face, I am coming to kill you, I'm coming to take your family away from you, and you're there foolishly and hopelessly responding to comments and issues with sarcasm. And I wonder, what sort of people are you? What we are doing now was exactly what happened during slavery. The white man will travel all the way from the USA, from Europe. They will come to West Africa. They will harvest us here like you are harvesting cassava in the farm. How many people came for the raid? Not up to 5 white people. Not up to 5. They will raid a village of 2,000-3,000. Put us in their ship. One person will be waiting for one white man to tie our legs with chain and our hands onto which one white man will tie up to 1,000 people. And we are there watching. Like Mumu. Now that's what we are doing today. Exactly what we are doing today. They are killing us. They are destroying us. They are making our life a misery. And all some idiots can think about is presidency. Whatever happened to freedom? Before the white man came, did we live in the same country with Fulani people? The answer is no. Did the world come to an end? The answer is no. Some idiots say it is you need population to have power. That God created Nigeria. And I asked them, I want you to go and Google who created the United States of America, who created Canada, who created Scotland, who created England, simple Google search, who created Russia, Who created Japan? And then you come back and write in or ask Google who created Nigeria. Compare all the answers and you will see it. You will see before your own eyes. Your stupidity will begin to leave you tonight if you can just try this. That is to tell you that only God can create a nation. Because when you put in who created Nigeria, you will see Frederick Lugard. But when you ask for other civilized nations, you can never see one single soul, because nations emerge organically. Organic growth. Before England came into existence, they had the Normans. No, they had the Vikings, they had the Saxons, they had the Normans. William the Conqueror, 1066, the first king of England, at the Battle of Hastings, defeated the Celtic king and established Frenchman. They are French. The first king of England was a Frenchman, William, from Normandy. That is how nations emerge. Nobody, if you ask people now, who created England, they can never tell it is William of Normandy. Never. Because they know it's God that can only create. There are forces at play before a nation emerges. Forces at play. One man embarked, they called him back from Hong Kong. He boarded a rickety ship only to stop the eastern advance of the French in Dahomey. They said, your name is Nigeria, and somebody is saying, I am proud to be a Nigerian. Do you see how foolish you are? Do you see how stupid you are? Do you see why we call you animals? Do you see the reason why Nigeria is a zoo? Can you now begin to appreciate this very fact? That you were created by a white man. Therefore, you are subhuman. Therefore, you can never, with any sense of credibility, claim to be a child of God. Because you're a child of a contraption created by a fellow mortal. Shame upon you. Shame upon all of you that say you are Nigerians. Shame upon you. We'll continue. As we speak tonight, is an active theater of conflict. Autonomous community against autonomous community. That's what they want. That is what they want. When the international community asks questions about Ebonyi, as we've been telling them in the USA, they will say, oh, they are people, they are fighting themselves. Al-Majiri will come to our land, divide us into pieces and say, you're now part of heaven knows what the name is. And you start fighting each other because we have failed to reason. People who didn't go to school, people that move cattle from place to place, people that drink the blood of cattle. Oh my goodness. Do you know we don't eat blood? Do you know we don't eat blood? Those are the people who are now your Lord and your Master, because you're so hungry, devoid of dignity, that you no longer know your place at the table. That's how sad it is. Then we shall continue. We have become deaf and unheeding to warning signs that our enemies do not mean well for us. Fulani do not mean well for us. Anytime you open your useless mouth to say one Nigeria, you are bringing the end of our race closer. You are seeking to destroy us as a people. You are doing something that you're not supposed to do. And that is hastening the demise of our race. Because Nigeria shouldn't have existed in the first place. The white man cannot go and create a country elsewhere, only in Africa. Because Africans are stupid. And you will see Africans say, I will do everything I can to defend this white man's creation. No wonder they bow down before a graven image of a white person. They bow down before an idol, graven image. That is where you get your inferiority complex from. That is the foundational basis of your stupidity, your ignorance and your hopelessness. That is why we are poor. That is why we cannot build roads. That is why we have engineers. We cannot build our own bridges. We rely on Julius Berger. That is why we have doctors. People are traveling abroad for medical treatment. That is why we have teachers. But our schools are crumbling and they learn nothing. You stay in a country where, as a deliberate government policy. History is not taught in schools, and people will just carry on. So I see, I mean, are you people human beings or what? Are you sure you're human beings? Maybe some were created to serve a very, should I say, useless purpose in life. And Nigeria is making all of you to fulfill that. When an idiot says, I love Nigeria, Nigeria is my country, you are looking at a complete animal, an unrepentant beast, forever and ever, because they cannot reason. Their brain is not working. Had people come together to say, we now want to create a country or a nation called XYZ, that is understandable. You can say the people sat at so and so day and decided to come together to form their own nation or their own country. A white man came to come and do business with Royal Niger Company, just pure business, economic transaction, and ended up calling you, giving you a name, and you're answering. The same way I gave my dog, Jack, a name is how the man named all of you, Nigerians. I mean, I'm a proud Nigerian. We Nigerians, I look at these fools and I pity them. I pity them, honestly. Something I used to ask myself, that there is no way God can make people more stupid as he has made Nigerians. People can, there is no other law. People cannot go any lower. In terms of stupidity, there is no other place to go. That is the absolute rock bottom of ignorance and hopelessness. What I say, I back it up with facts. Britain has come. But why have they come, you may ask? We are about to find out this very evening. British High Commissioner, they have come again. Did they used to come before? No, they don't. They never came before. Why have they come? That is the question. I will tell you, because it is everywhere. And listen very carefully and attentively, please. The British High Commissioner to the Zoo, Catriona Lang is her name, has completed plans to embark on a tour of Imo, Anambra, and Enugu states from November 5 to 7. 5th to the 7th, which is yesterday, today, and tomorrow. British High, what is she coming for? During Operation Python Dance, they never came. When they kill our people, they never... Maybe now they can see what their boys are doing on the ground, what their Fulani boys are doing. Killing and maiming, arresting and detaining without trial, extorting money at multiple checkpoints. Maybe now she can see it, what their Fulani boys, house niggers, are doing for them on the streets of Biafra land. They have said it all, and the reason is, why is she coming at this time? That is the problem. Anytime we make a diplomatic move abroad, you see them back in the zoo, you see them back at home, trying to connive, trying to, how can I put it, trying to put a stop to what they know is unstoppable. This IPOB that I heard, I'm being honest with you, nobody can stop it. It doesn't matter who you are. Only God in heaven can. And Chukwu Abiyama cannot. Because this was what he mandated that should be done. The reason why my father married my mother is for where we are today, that Biafra may come. They have served their purpose. Write it down somewhere. On this platform, I said to you that I will sacrifice everything, including my parents. I said it on Radio Biafra. And I will do it 10 times over. And Biafra will come. It doesn't matter. I say to our enemies, double your efforts, do whatever you can to stop us. You can never succeed. Because they say one with God is majority. We are not asking for something that doesn't belong to us. We are asking for freedom for everybody, including the Alamajiris who cannot go to school, including those who are on the streets doing Babi Allah. We want everybody to be free and to have a very decent life, but you cannot get it with Fulani Caliphate in charge. It is impossible. Not in 1 trillion years. Not in 1 trillion years. Those who were heads of state at the age of 31, 32, 33, when a 50-year-old is talking, they say, oh, you're a small boy. But you were a minister at the age of 29. And the most painful painful thing is that is the education system in the zoo. I think it is. That is what we ought to be blaming, to be honest with you. Very sad indeed. Let us go back to British High Commissioner. Megan Nalibu, what has she come to do in our land? What is she doing in Biafra land? She has come because the effect of what we did in the USA is now reaching them. Important people are asking questions. A greatest interview to VOA, which is listened to in over 240 languages across the world. So the world is aware of what we are doing now. Previously, they never knew. In being honest with you, they told us they never knew, but now they know. And do you know why the British diplomat is coming? She's coming to find out if these waves we are making all over the world, this thing that IPOB is doing, do they have the support of their Fulani slaves amongst our people? That's why she has come. That's why she came. And that's why they will continue coming. Anytime we make any serious inroad abroad, you will see them coming. One Nigeria. Nigeria is unbreakable. Nigeria, pray for Nigeria because they know that in as much as I'm alive and IPOB is here, I will break Nigeria into pieces. When I speak, write it on a piece of paper. Bring your jealousy, your greed, your envy, bring everything you have, or suppose someone be added on top of it. You cannot stop this movement. Nobody can. No Jupiter can. You cannot. I say it with every ounce of conviction that no human being born of mortal flesh can stop IPOB. You've not been given birth to. Now listen. This woman came. Why? This is what her office said, the British High Commission, that is, which is the British Embassy in the zoo. This is what they have to, I call it the zoo because I can't call that place Nigeria. It means nigger area, the place of black, down and out people, people of darkness, in the Urisi, people who are blind. It's called Nigeria, nigger area. That's the meaning of it. I can't be calling you. So a zoo is even better for you. During her time in the Southeast, according to the British High Commission, Tatiana will engage with, listen, they have come, listen carefully, engage with government officials and civil society groups in the states. The one she'll be visiting. I am very much looking forward to this trip to the Southeast. The first time, listen, the first time I will be visiting the region as British High Commissioner. The first time. She's come. She's been to other places. So. Why is she coming? Because you think she loves you? No. It's to stop IPOB. That's why they have come. Can they stop us? Are you worried? Are you panicking? They can never ever stop us. It is impossible. Impossible. I'm telling you the truth. Before God in heaven and man on this earth, it is impossible. Nobody can stop IPOB. Impossible. She's coming for the first time. Listen, the Southeast is the cradle of culture, not our name, but in the England she comes from, listen carefully to me. In the England where this woman comes from, they have Lancashire, they have Yorkshire, they have Cornwall, they have Wales, they have Merseyside, they have Teesside, they have all the shires you can think of. But where I come from, the land of my ancestors, the land of the ancients, my name is Southeast. Southeast of where? I'm just asking, Southeast of where? She's saying, I am coming to, is Southeast a name? If I'm traveling to Germany, I can go to Bavaria. I can go to Westphalia. I can go to all those other beautiful places like Hamburg. Am I going to say, oh, I'm traveling to the southeast of Germany? Does that make sense to you? If you go to USA, you say, oh, I'm traveling to northeast of USA, they'll ask you where exactly. Is it Washington? Is it New York? Is it Delaware? Is it Massachusetts? Where are you going to? My name is Southeast, according to the British. This is what they told the Fulani house niggers to call us. Your name is Southeast. Some people read this, they laugh and they smile. If you ask them, where do you come from? They say, we are from the Southeast. That's how foolish you are. You can't even start up and say, no, my name is not Southeast, my name is Ibo, or my name is Biafra, or my name is Efik, or my name is Ibibi, or my name is Idoma, my name is... Even you can even say Banke, if you want. Of course, we know that Ibo. You can say I'm Calabari. You can say I'm Izon. You can say I'm Oron. You can say I am a Bibio. That is who you are. That is your ancient identity from your ancestors from the time immemorial. Not Southeast, South, Upper Delta, Lower Delta, rubbish. Nonsense. Look at how a white woman is using your brain because you are fools. You cannot reason. You cannot think properly. You cannot digest any information because you lack the ability to criticize and think properly. Your name is Southeast, but okay, somebody should write to the commissioner, to British High Commissioner, and ask her, where are you from? She will say UK, yes. Which part of UK are you from? She will tell you, I'm a Scot. I'm Scottish. But when I meet her, she will expect me to say, I am from Southeast. Does Southeast have a meaning? Is that a name of somebody Southeast? Is it Southeast of Afghanistan? Or Southeast of Uzbekistan? Southeast of where? Do you know, when I said to my father that I want to travel to England to go and study, he asked me why. I said, because you cannot learn anything at UNN. He said, oh, but that is the premier university. People pray to go into UNN. I said, I am not going to that one. This is not school. Do you know what it means to be in a citadel of knowledge university? And it's like a glorified secondary school. I said to my father, I will not go. I said, I'm not going anywhere until he sent me to England, and he did. That is how we roll. What I seek is knowledge. Knowledge more than anything else in the world. Wisdom and knowledge is all I seek. Nothing more, nothing less, and things must be done properly. That is why I am not a millionaire. If I wanted to be, I could have become, but I said no. Because this is right. You cannot be a millionaire and your people are reasoning like imbecile. I wouldn't use the word imbecile because it's a disability. People reason like fools. I won't allow that. We must reason properly. A woman is coming to my land and she's calling me Southeast, yes? And I'm asking her, where are you from? Southeast of where are you from yourself? But of course she can't answer. They said we are listen to her, to what she said. She started to butter us up now because we are fools. We are, Southeast is the cradle of culture, education, trade and investment. I'm excited to get a first-hand view of the strides the governments and leaders in Imo, Anambra, and Enugu are making in the development of their states. Development. Do you see how evil they are? In Britain, which I respect very much, they know this very well. I respect England because I've said it many times that it is the most civilized piece of territory on the face of this very earth, without a doubt. Because in England, they do things by reason. If you can go to court and convince the court that black is blue, they will rule in your favor. Maybe not these days, but in the olden days, where reason prevailed, England. After seeing the arrested development in our land, she's saying the strides they're making. Do you know what she's saying? They're making strides because they're working with Fulani. Fulani have told them what to say. If you go look for Obiano, if you go look for these are the idiots we are using, but go and promote them and say they're doing very well. So because you're a white woman, you see, if those foolish Igbos, if they see you as a white woman praising that baboon of a governor, they will say, oh, since a white woman has said that the governors are trying, that maybe they're trying. Are you following what I'm saying? They can deceive you, but not us. They can't deceive us. I'm only on number one. I've not started. Only on number one. To tell you why they have come. And the reason, the only thing she will take away, this High Commissioner will take away from Biafra land, the heart of Biafra land is this. That, okay, we are still doing our job. We have seen them and they're not going to support Biafra anytime soon. That's why she came. You never came before. It's now that I went to Washington, went to the Senate and to the to the Congress. and back is now that you've remembered that you need to go and see the strides they're making. Not to talk about those that they killed. But Britain is at the forefront of making sure that the protest in Hong Kong is going on. Britain cover every protest in the world. They report, they write. But anytime we are killed, the same people you claim you care about, they have been slaughtering us since 2015. You've said nothing about it, nor condemned them. Because we are black people and we do not reason very well. We are the cradle of education. That is what the High Commissioner said with her mouth. But when it comes to presidency, you support Alamajiri from the north, where there is no education. But yeah, you're saying Biafrans are the cradle of education. But when you go to when it comes to presidency, who can, there is something I'll play for you later on. You will tell me any country that will support even contemplate allowing such a person to be on a ballot paper. The name of such a person, talk less of voting him in, or rigging the alter ego into office. That is the thing wrong with our people. And we must correct it. We are correcting. This is Radio Biafra. We are live and we are direct. On one topic, I spent 1 hour on British visit to Biafra land. Because of my visit to Washington, I've taken almost 45 minutes. Then we must continue. Unless some people are complaining about their data that they want to go. Then others will, perhaps give them the details later on. But for now, we must proceed. Now that the British High Commissioner is in Biafra land, maybe she has come to see the population reduction strategy, because Britain supported Fulani during the war to kill us, to Islamize us. It's on record, it's a known fact. They have removed every trace of Biafran war from British archives. That is also a known fact. I keep asking myself, and I keep asking my British friend, why do you hate Biafra so much? What did we do to you? What did we do? I keep asking, what did Biafra do to Britain that Britain has this hatred, this blind hatred for Biafra? Why? Because we fought you for nearly 100 years before Arochukwu fell. What is it? Because of Ekumeko? Because Ekumeko fought you? Okay, you went to Fulani and accepted the Alamajiri because they have nothing upstairs. They accepted you. That is why you must destroy the Biafran race. Dividing us into Niger Delta and Igbo didn't save you. Southeast and South didn't work. Now it is to come and supervise the killing of our people. Are you telling me the British never knew? Are you telling me they never knew what Buratai is doing? Are you telling me that the British mission to the zoo called Nigeria that they created don't know what is happening to our people, that we are being killed? Will she allow British people, Britons, to be killed the same way that Biafrans are being killed? Will she be happy? The answer is no. Why do they hate us? These are the people that gave us the Bible, gave us Anglican Church, Methodist Church, Presbyterian one, which other one is a Baptist. They gave us, just name it. And our people our brothers from Rome gave us Catholic. But in everything they do, they support Islam. In all of these people, all they do is support it to come and kill us. That is the truth. You may not want to, but this is, me, I don't, honestly speaking, I don't give a damn how you feel. If you're happy, that is entirely your business. I am here to speak the truth. If you go and research it, you know I'm telling you the truth. Very sad indeed. They have come to see what is happening to us, and our people are complaining. They say it is harassment, that our people are being harassed. If we go on the road, they kill us. If we come out, who are the ones complaining? Southeast commuters lament harassment, extortion by soldiers. The same thing I told you, how many years ago did I tell you? It's all over the place. And I told them that you will lament and nobody will listen to you. Because anything I say here is gospel. It must come to pass. I told you that you will lament. Fulani will deal with you to such an extent that you'll be lamenting. But nobody will listen to you. Is anybody listening? Instead of the British High Commissioner to come and listen to our complaints, she is coming to see how well Ibazu is doing. But we should go to Aba. Go to Aba now and see how well he's doing. They come online and show you pictures of flyover in Taiwan. And some idiots are jumping up and down. Calling a murderer excellency. This OG black people, black. This OG. Yeah, people have taken ignorance to a whole new level. You have taken ignorance to a whole new shining level. I'm telling you the truth. We are lamenting. That's all we do. We lament. We lament. And tomorrow they'll say, one Nigeria. We want to be in one Nigeria. My country is Nigeria. People without shame. My country is Nigeria. Let me tell you what they are reporting in the papers. They said commuters and drivers plying various roads in the southeast have lamented the high level of intimidation and extortion by soldiers at checkpoints. Who brought them? Ibazu, Umahi, Obiano, Blochas, Aboga, Wosa. They brought them into our land to kill us because they don't like freedom. They like the way they are. You see them yesterday, the CBM governor, the way he kneels down. After all, Wood was also kneeling down a few years ago, we understand, to be the president. Once you kneel down in front of, I'll imagine he will say, hey, look at Nyamli kneeling down. Yeah, don't say you go school, but here you are kneeling down. Okay, Nyamli, get up, I'll give you CBN governor. Nyamli, what do you want? Senator, I make this Nyamli senator. Those are the idiots you call your leaders. Those are the fools you call your leaders. Now the army is there. It was our great leader's birthday lecture yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Ojukwu, the pioneer of what we are doing today. It was his birthday. They could not use that opportunity to say that what the soldiers are doing on our streets is intolerable. No, they couldn't. They cannot say it. They're not IPOB, so they can't say it. Only IPOB can. And some people still call them leaders. Commuters are complaining to Punch newspaper, not to their elected so-called, Abuja representing Nnewi South constituency at the Federal House of Assembly, whatever they call it. But there are soldiers in your village, 15 checkpoints in Nnewi, extorting money from people, and you're a lawmaker in Abuja. All that you care about is Nigeria is one, cannot be broken up. Whereas Alamajiri is in your village raping your mothers. And you're a leader. Somebody, you wake up in the morning and you call these people your leaders. I don't understand. What do you understand to be leadership? Does it mean you don't know the meaning of the word leadership? Or what a leader is supposed to be doing? Or what a leader is supposed to be saying? Instead of complaining to a Yoruba newspaper Punch, why don't you complain to your so-called leaders? And Agarabachirozo 1, 2, 3 to 12. Because you don't reason properly. There is a saying in Igbo land, you don't abandon the correct process and procedure of doing something and you think you get any traction out of it. Of course not. You are being extorted because you are in one Nigeria. You are being extorted because you believe in one Nigeria. You are being extorted because you are foolish enough to believe that the Fulanis will ever like you. You are hopeless. You know nothing. Commuters crying. And you will think that perhaps there is a problem, or maybe the issues are that there is insecurity. Let us hear what the army has to say. And this clip you are about to hear is everywhere on social media, it's on Facebook, it's everywhere. If Facebook hasn't taken it down, because Facebook is working for the zoo. You know that Facebook is working for Nigeria. So they do all they can to suppress every IPOB, Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu related article. Of course, you know that very well. But this is not about IPOB. But something came out of it. And I want you to, I'm going to play a clip for you. Let me try and get it and play it for you. So you will listen and understand what is happening in the zoo. And anybody from Biafra claiming they are one Nigeria to be one, after listening to this clip, you will feel ashamed of yourself and your family that you came from. I'm going to play a clip for you. And I want you to listen very attentively and understand the mess you are in, the mess that the British High Commissioner will not let you see or understand. I want people to appreciate the nonsense that is happening to us. and pray to Elohim for IPOB to give us more strength and courage. I'm going to play it for you. You must listen attentively, please. Listen very carefully. Amaka is in this position. She cannot post this on my wall, but listen. And I want this shared everywhere to those who are listening. Very, very, I think it was Niger Loop that put the video together. Very, very interesting. But as with every other thing, it enters through one ear, the right ear, and goes out through the left one, because we are black. We don't retain critical information, we don't analyze it, and we don't utilize it. In any other country of the world, after this very testimony by this lawmaker, Nigeria army will be recalled back into the barracks immediately. But you are black, dumb, and sometimes a bit foolish. What can you do? Nothing. You keep lamenting to a newspaper columnist about your life, when you have all it takes in your hands to decide that enough is enough. When will enough be enough for some of you? Let me play this clip for you so you understand it. I'm going to play it if it will play.
Members of the press and staff of this National Assembly, if you ask them to bring out their national ID card, I don't think you can have more than 50% of people that can pass through this door. The truth of the matter is, it has not been provided to all Nigerians. As I'm talking to you now, and I want you to talk to the theater in Borno, by 6 a.m., if you go to National ID Card Office in Maiduguri, you have more than 2,000 people, without fear of any contradiction, queuing up. Among them, you have Chadians, you have people from Niger Republic, you have people from Cameroon Republic. They are queuing up. And one of the requirements for you to get the national ID card is for you to just have access to indigenization letter from any of the local government, which is very porous. Everybody can go and obtain indigenous letter for a local government and acquire national ID card. Another thing, which is so pathetic, the content of the national ID card contains expiry date. It has never been in the history of mankind where a national identification item is content expiry date. So if at all my card now is expired, this shows I'm not holding one. So sir, I'm just trying for, just as a matter of emphasis, what is happening, let me just round up. And lastly, with regards to the issue of persons holding means of identification will be allowed by the military men whenever they are conducting maybe cordon and search. To me, I'm a barrack boy. My father is a retired military officer. I have never seen a situation whereby a military man is doing a job or police work, if I can put it, or paramilitary work. I've never seen it in my life. We went to Maiduguri for an oversight. One of the problems of Nigerian army is lack of manpower. And now you want to overstretch the limited number you have for this. So, sir, so this is it. The Nigerian state is...
I will not allow the army officer to respond. I will do that later. But you've just heard the voice of an Alamajiri from the north. He said he's a barrack boy. The father was, as with all of them in the north, the father was a military man, because the British rightly advised us to be going to school, which is a good thing. No, in fact, you have to farm to do other things to send your child to school in Biafra land. Awolowo did very well by extending scholarship to a great number of people in the West. And in the North, they went into the military because the British told them, don't worry, leave those people. They want to read book. Here, just take the AK-47, take the assault rifle. That is where the power lies. So everybody in the North is in the army. Once you can read A, B, C, D to M, you can go into the army. Not to Z or no, that will be too difficult for some of them. Now, listen to what this man said. At least he has conscience. He has conscience. He's a lawmaker. You know what he said? He said that the whole ID card nonsense that the army is using to come to Biafra land, to intimidate, to rape, to pillage, and to extort is non-existent. That's number one. There is no ID card. They have not issued ID card to anybody. But they have said that they are coming and they're expecting ID cards in our land. When the man responds, you will hear what he has to say, the army officer. This man also said that when people talk about one Nigeria, I go into apoplectic rage. I go insane. This is a lawmaker, so he knows more than you. He's from the north. He said that Chadians, people from Niger and Cameroon are coming into Katsina, into Sokoto, into Kano, into Ibrono, and collecting your Nigerian ID card. Are you not listening? Are you deaf? Is this the one Nigeria you're defending? I'm asking you, is this the one Nigeria you are defending? I'm asking you this question. Where somebody can just throw over from Chad and the man said it's not difficult. What does it take to get a national ID card to become a Nigerian? So when you go outside and commit crime, they say it is people from Biafra. Access to a local government, just local government letter. They all speak Fufude, they speak Hausa, they speak whatever. They go, do you know who is who? Do you know, can you tell one Alamajiri beggar from the other? Between Badiala, they go and collect their ID card. But they are Chadians, they are from Niger, and they are from the Cameroon. And you are in the south, talking nonsense about one Nigeria, as if you're insane. Do you see how hopeless your one Nigeria is? This is from a lawmaker in the zoo in Nigeria, telling you that your ID card is a scam. He also said that the ID card has expiry date. It's just like saying to those in the UK that your NI card or your NI card has an expiry date. How can you have an expiry date? But only in the zoo. All they try to do is to extort you. And instead of you to rise up and revolt, join IPOB, do what is needed to be free. You were thinking about 2072 is our turn. Oh dear me. Anyway, you're not black African for nothing. You must exhibit some level of stupidity. It comes with, with the territory of where you come from. Very sad indeed. He grew up in the barracks and he said, this is Alamajirium, and he said, I have never seen a military man doing police work, especially even in a democracy. How can a military man be doing police work? What is the essence of democracy? Are we in a democracy or military rule? I will allow the army man to answer in a minute. And the lawmaker also said, there is no manpower in Borno. They don't have soldiers to fight Boko Haram in Borno, but they have soldiers in Biafra land intimidating us. And why they do it? Because your so-called governors, they want to know about leaders, your so-called leaders, they are there. They invited them to come. Where there is insurgency in the north, nothing is happening. Where there is no manpower, no, they will not redeploy there. Why should they? They have Judeo-Christians in the east to come and suppress and kill and pillage. And Britain is clapping for them. Now, let us hear what the army has to say, and this will shock you. Even if you are so stupid that you cannot put one on one together to get two, what this man is about to say will shock you. If at all you have any brain left in your skull. You know me, I don't mince words here. I don't believe in painting words. To say something so you will feel good about yourself, you must be insane. Because you have refused to reason. You've refused to learn. Army are in your village killing people. Fulani headsmen, which is Miliet Yala, are in your village raping your mothers, destroying your farmland, taking over your land. And you are in Lagos and in Abuja saying, I'm proud of one Nigeria. And you're telling me that you're normal? You say, Mrs. Ruwoke? No, I don't think so. Let us hear what the army has to say, and this will shock you. Please listen very carefully.
It is in a war situation, and whether I would like to or not, even though the constitution has not been suspended, we are doing everything in line with the constitution because the constitution empowers the Nigerian army to come in aid of other security agencies when the need arises and to
I will stop him there. Even though the constitution has not been suspended, but the army have themselves unilaterally suspended the constitution. Because they are using raw power and intimidation because they know that Jubril is not Buhari. So that once you get up and you speak, you'll be killed. That is what they are doing. He has opened his mouth to say it. Although it's not been suspended. Because you people did not write it. It is something as with the zoo Nigeria. In fact, it just occurred to me now, I'm trying to draw this parallel. Lugard came from Scotland and came and created the zoo. All of you are jumping one Nigeria, because of course you're daft. The same way that a poorly educated military man, Abdul Salami, wrote constitution for civilians. And all of you are jumping up and saying you defend that constitution of Nigeria. That is why they sack loyal judges at will. That is why they do whatever they like. That is why corruption is rampant. That is why the army can go up one day and say they have suspended the constitution. Or that you are all answering democracy or Democrats by mouth. By mouth. By mouth only. How can you claim you are in a democracy when the army is on the streets molesting people, asking for a non-existent document, an ID card that somebody from Chad can come and take and go? Are you telling me you people are okay at all? You people, you fool, those that call them, are you people, are you normal? Are you sure your brain is okay? Oh dear me. Let's continue to hear him. The army have on their own suspended the constitution. You can't do anything about it. Abakiyari is in charge. The cabal is in charge.
Such other functions as may be approved by the National Assembly. And I think that is what we are doing. And many of these activities, you may not necessarily, they are not enumerated in the constitution, so they are not even things you can say, oh, we say we are supposed to.
Did you hear what I said? The things they are doing is not in the constitution. What the army is doing, it is not constitutional. It is not in the constitution. Then why are they doing it? Because there is martial law that some of you don't know. The army spokesman opened his mouth and said, what we are doing is not in the constitution. And if it is not in the constitution, who authorized you to do it? Who gave you the power to do it if it's not in the constitution? Is the National Assembly? The answer is no. The National Assembly never voted and asked you to do all these things you're doing. And so you know, so Buratai knows that what he's doing is not in the constitution, but they're doing it anyway. Because Nigerians are fools. Complete and utter fool animals they are.
This and that. But in the course of doing that particular major activity, we come up with other ideas and other activities that support that particular activity.
The army is coming up with their own ideas. Not according to law. No. This is the man. This is an army. I don't know his name. He's an army spokesman. Is that the video? I want some to all of you. I want this video to be shared everywhere. It was put together quite cleverly by Niger Loop. May God bless them. Of course, they can go. They can buy them over tomorrow and ask them to attack IPOB, Biafra, and Nnamdi Kanu. It doesn't matter. But if you do something right, we commend you. This video must be put everywhere. The army said, we make up our own laws. We decide what to do. That's what he's saying. We, the army, we decide what to do. We make up laws and anything we like, we do. You are bloody civilians. You can't do anything about it. In a democracy in Africa. Only in Africa. Because an African man doesn't actually understand the meaning of white man's democracy. They don't know the meaning of it. Their brain cannot comprehend it. Let's continue. Listen to this very fluid and erudite army spokesman.
I think we're in line. So I want to use this opportunity to appreciate you and call on you and let you know that, look, this particular activity or this particular operation that the military is undertaking, because it's not affecting your area doesn't mean you should not be concerned. You must be concerned because it's affecting everybody.
This is army speaking in a democracy. Army is telling you you should be afraid. In a democracy. Democratic dividend. You know, that's that nonsense they keep saying. Democratic fruits of democracy. The whatever of democracy. This is the army telling you you should be afraid. You have to be afraid. The army is telling you to be afraid. Can you believe such nonsense? In a democracy? Huh? I don't believe this. The army is telling you Zoo people, Nigerians, you should be afraid in a democracy. Not Boko Haram shouldn't be afraid though, or Mietiala shouldn't be afraid though, or ISIS in West Africa, or Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb, no? You, the ordinary citizens, because you are gullible, because you're foolish, because you cannot reason very well. So let's continue to hear this man.
And if it's a business for everybody, I think it is what the whole Nigerians should see as our project and support the military and the army particularly to ensure that we bring this challenge to a halt. The next one is from if you don't hear any operation taking your place, because that means it's peaceful. Of course, I can tell you Crocodile Smile is actually designed for the south, south and southwest, but we are focusing on the southeast because, of course, there are no challenges. Are
you listening? Operation Crocodile Smile, which is army operation, was designed for the lower part of Biafra land, the so-called south, south and southwest, which is Oduduwa. I won't call them Yoruba anymore because my good friend, my very learned friend, because he's a scholar. Femi Fanikayode is a scholar. He's a student of history. When I see idiots that even break chalk, talking nonsense, I just shoot them aside because they have no brain. Did you hear what the man said? Operation Crocodile Smile was for South, South and Southwest, but we are focusing on Southeast. And somebody from Igbo land will go and say, I'm a Nigerian. The army is persecuting you. They have come out now to say, it is peaceful. He accepted that the place is peaceful. But we are focusing there all the same. And you're telling me that anybody who calls himself a Nigerian should not be brought outside and burnt at the stake. Is that what you're telling me? Oh dear. I'm not going to continue with this, to be honest. I can't. It's very sad indeed. The army is telling you that they are focusing on your area. And you talk about, we came to do all this Operation Crocodile Smile, Operation Python Dance, because of insecurity. Is that correct? Who is bringing this security? I've told you it is the Fulani people and their soldiers. This is a news report in Edo State. I'll read the headline for you. Police arrest soldiers for kidnapping and robbery. The same Fulani soldiers telling you, we are coming to do Operation Patrol. Show your ID card. They are the ones actually doing the kidnapping. The army themselves. The police want to arrest them. Nigerian army. So these are the people asking for helicopter gunships, maybe to increase the kidnapping and the harvesting of people and organs. You can see it. And we went to Russia, we are asking for 4 helicopter gunships. We went to America, we want helicopter. Britain is helping us with guns and ammunition. I want the High Commissioner for Britain and every mission to Nigeria to know that every arm, every pistol, every assault rifle, every bullet you give to Nigerian army goes into lawlessness, into kidnapping and robbery. If in doubt, ask the Edo State Police Command. The army people are the ones doing the kidnapping. Is here, is being look at them arrested. It's in black and white. And tomorrow people will write, I support our army. I support. Is your army fighting any war outside the borders of the zoo? No. Then why do you support them in suppressing civilians? Why do you have the police? Are they not armed? Don't the police carry the same AK-47? Are you all not corrupt? All of you together. Both those who are leading and those who are led. Are you not all corrupt? Of course, save for those who are in IPOB. The army people are the ones doing the kidnapping. They are the ones making life difficult for everybody. They think we will not know, but we know. And that is what we are exposing tonight. And I want to prove to people tonight that everything to do with lawlessness is coming from the north. They are army, they are the ones being arrested. Doing army, the same army. They announce Operation Python Dance, they come and they start kidnapping people. The same army that they came to fight crime, they create the crime themselves. And their brothers that they're helping. Miyeti Allah is not just insulting everybody, but threatening everybody. His name is Bodejo. I don't know where he comes from. Do you know what he said? No apologies for Benue killings. As I said to them in America, it's just like somebody coming and saying, I'm a Hutu. I killed all those people, Tutsis in Rwanda, and I'm proud of it. And I make no apologies. And I think the whole world will go mad. But in the zoo that is called Nigeria, you can go in, slaughter, rape, destroy. wave your carnage all over the place because you're Fulani cattle rearer and the fourth most deadly terror group in the world. You stand up in front of everybody to say no apologies for Benue killings, and there'll be no peace in the south of the so-called zoo called Nigeria because you have said so. You are Fulani and you are in one Nigeria. And tomorrow idiots will come up and say we love one Nigeria. This is Al-Majri. Probably from heaven knows, maybe from Senegal or from the farthest reaches of Niger, coming to tell you what to do in your land. And I'm a Nigerian, the green, white, green. Oh dear Lord, have mercy. It's very sad indeed. It's depressing. What did he say? What did this Al-Majri say? He is the national president of Miet Yala. Socio-political. It's a murderous group, the fourth most deadly terror group in the world. They kill you and they come out and they say, we even want money for those killings. Remember when El Rufai paid them to stop the killing of Christians in southern Kaduna? You have forgotten. You are Nigerians, isn't it? You always forget. Oh dear. Oh dear. He said, I am the national president of Miet Yala. I didn't apologize to anybody. Our organization didn't apologize to anybody because Fulani herdsmen didn't kill or hasn't killed anybody. The same Fulani herdsmen that House of Rock said they're from Mali, from Niger, from Burkina Faso. All of a sudden, they have not killed anyone. And you see the way they enjoy national limelight. But IPOB that is fighting for, that is how stupid a black man is. IPOB that is actually fighting for your freedom. We contribute our money, we sacrifice our lives, we do everything possible to bring about your freedom. We are terrorists. But those coming to your farms, raping your mothers, they are good Nigerians. Do you know why you reason that way? Because you're a black person. You're black. That is why Africa is backwards. Because of the way we reason. And hopefully it will come to an end very, very soon. Miet Yala. And they are dividing and destroying our land. Dividing and destroying our land. Do you know the funniest thing? They said they're coming to demarcate the boundary between Ebonyi and Benue. But in this Ebonyi and Benue, they're the same family, the same people. It was Fulani that came and divided us into two. Put some in Benue, some in Ebonyi, the same family. It's something they did to Ohaji in Imo. Some are in Rivers. Of course, we are brothers. We know that. But we're just merely pointing out the evil that happened. Some of you don't know that Obaru in Anambra State has more in common with people from Onichubo than those from Nnewi across the road, or those from Obosi. In fact, people from Obosi have more in common with the Gala people. As I keep saying all the time, the man Iweka is actually from Igala. And there is the Ata of Obosi, which is the same way you have the Ata of Igala. But you don't know these things, do you? Zoo won't teach you all these things. because Nigeria is evil. Very, very evil. They call them the National Boundary Commission. They said they have started preliminary work to demarcate boundaries and communities in Ebonyi. Is it for you to come to our land to divide our land for us? Don't we know who we are again? They said the meeting is chaired by the disgraced Vice President Yemi Yosiba. You know, he has no shame. You know, in Africa, people have no honor and no shame, no dignity. No matter what they do to him, he will stay back. He's the VP. He wants to answer Commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That's how foolish people are. No honor and no dignity. He is the one they've appointed to preside over the boundary issue. They said they'll come up with a program to do. Do you know who they're demarcating? You see the way they now call you Ebonyi and Benue. Boundary dispute. These are the same Igbo people. That's how they divide us now. Some say, I'm from Cross River. I'm not Igbo. I'm from Delta. Don't say I'm Igbo. That is how foolish we have become. But it will not happen because very soon our people will know the truth. Our people will know the truth. And that is why this very evening, as teachers are begging a governor contesting, because they know that Bello will be rigged into power, the teachers are now begging, please, can you pay us our 39 months salary arrears, please? People that claim there is power in PVC, they hold the PVC in their hand. They're holding it. And the man who is supposed to pay their salaries have squandered everything in the fight against corruption, as they will say, in an imaginary territory. Bello is busy. He has squandered money belonging to teachers. I think the author of the gala gave him a national, a chieftaincy title. Because he has no conscience, he has no soul. People are evil in Black Africa. Evil to the core. Imagine if your wife, your sister, your brother, your uncle, your aunt is a teacher in Kogi, and they've not paid her or him for 39 months. Will you still support the governor? This is to say that your PVC is useless. They hold the PVC. They have the powers in their hands to actually get rid of the governor. But will they do it? The answer is no. Do you know why they won't do it? Because they are black. Do you think a white man would put up with this rubbish? Of course not. Of course not. Because we are black. And on that very sad note, I know that a lot of people have been seeing some messages. They said they're listening to us with their data, and because of that, they have actually run out. But there is one particular piece of news I must bring to your attention. It's about Abba Kyari, who is actually the president of Nigeria. Some of you know, but pretend you don't know. Some of you also have seen the latest portrait of Jubril that the circulator claiming is Buhari. Jubril is meant to be 76 years of age. Hamid Ali, who is the comptroller of customs, is 64 years. But it looks as if Hamid Ali is the father of Jubril, of Buhari, I should say. Oh, dear me, Zoo. Who did this to black people? Is it, where did we get this stupidity from? Is it, it must be genetic. It sounds very depressing, but that is the truth. It must be genetic, because there is no other plausible explanation that a people can be so useless to the point that you're showing them something and they say, no, but I can't see it. Oh dear. Oh dear. Unbelievable. They took bail to a president they claim is theirs in London to sign to assent to a bill. Now, let me ask you this, and if you can do a minor research, please, if you may, go and check and tell me how many times a sitting president anywhere in the world, even in the worst banana republic, ever signed a bill abroad. Go and do your own research. Tell us how foolish you Nigerians are. You're so daft is untrue. Some are clapping. He's the chief of staff. He is the president. He is the one running the zoo. Buhari is no more. He recruited the little boy, Jubril. Go to London, he will go. I'll bring you the bill there to sign, he will go. In fact, I promised that I was going to play a clip for you. And I hope I will be able to find it. There is a clip I want to play for you that shows your so-called president or whatever, Jubril and the old Buhari, and ask me the only country on this earth that will ever vote for somebody like that into power. But you are Nigerians now. What do you know? What do you know? What do you know? Very, very sad indeed. Extremely sad. I said I was going to do this, and I want to do it very briefly because I know some people are they are a bit tired. I know they are a bit tired. I know that.
program tonight. I've had to truncate it. And all I can say to some of you is to remain resolute, remain part of this very noble family. And if you want to acquire some common sense, you must be part of IPOB, regardless of where you are, because all we seek is truth, justice, and fairness, not in the words that we speak, but the actions that we carry out on a daily basis. And on behalf of all the crew with me, from here, it is good evening.
This is my message to the world from my broken soul. We keep walking down the road. They killed our mothers, fathers, and our sons. We are light, we are the lights of the world. We come from the land of the rising sun. Every single day we keep rising up. No matter what they do, we are never giving up. This is my message to the world. Embrace Biafra. Embrace redemption. We shall win in the end. This is my message to the world. Embrace our freedom. Embrace our victory. We shall win in the end. We are stars. We are the greatest stars. No matter where we go, we rise to the sky. All around the world, we see greatness in the sight. Every day and night, we struggle for our lives. We are one. We are the chosen ones. Chukwokike is the one to give us victory. Bring us back to the land flowing with milk and honey. Breaking all the chains and pain of slavery. This is my message to the world. Embrace Biafra. Embrace redemption. We shall win in the end. This is my message to the world.